on work. One may aspire to live for hundreds of years if he continuously goes on working in that way. For that sort of work will not bind him to the law of karma. There is no alternative to this way for man. So mantra 2 explains basically the benefit of working in Isavasya conception. One becomes, if anybody works in the Isavasya conception, one becomes free from karmic reactions and acts on the liberated platform. Such activities are the only method for freedom. So Prabhupada says, so the only way we want, if you want to get out, if you want to come out of this cycle of birth and death, and if you want to get the freedom, the only principle is we need to follow the Isavasya concept. And this is divided into three parts. One may aspire to live for hundreds of years if he continuously goes on working in that way. So we will see what is the Isavasya conception in the coming slides. And next thing is, for that sort of work, it will not bind him to the law of karma. We know that law of karma, how it works. So it will not bind him. And next thing is, there is no alternative to this way for a man. There is no other alternative, no other alternative. This is the only alternative for us to get freedom. So if you see a law of karma, if you take these beautiful examples, this person, so whatever it goes around, it comes to him back. So if he touches this one, finally at the end, it will hit him. At the same time, if you know the one, we know another example of a police officer, right? If he misuse these powers, at the end, definitely he has to get punished. So whatever goes around comes around actually. So this is at the individual level. If you observe the recently the wildfire, oh no, before that, okay, one more thing. So law of karma. So what you put out into the world comes back to us. How you live your life determines what kind of life you will have. So if you see this example, as well, this is a well-known example. So he is killing the animal. So when you're killing the animal, so what Bhagavad Gita says is, as we know, so if you're killing an animal, that means we are telling, giving an approval to that animal. In the next life, he becomes the animal and the animal becomes the man, so he has to take the punishment back. So law of karma, that's how it works. So whatever, however we live, that will tell what we are going to be in future. So another thing is law of karma. This is the collective karma. We know, right? Karma is going to be individual, or it's going to be collective karma. So if you see the recently, if you see the wildfire which is happening in California, it's almost burnt 40 or 50,000 acres of land, almost 15,000 structures burnt to the ground, actually into ashes. Still the fire is going on. Nobody is able to control that. Even almost 15,000 firefighters. So why is it happening? This is a law of karma. So law of karma, which is collectively happening. And if you say, I captured some of the pictures, if you see this one here, see, it's houses are burnt and everywhere fire is there. Nobody knows how it started and they're not able to control. So that shows us how insignificant are we. There is nothing in our hands. So if material nature thinks this wants to do something, it will happen. So, and if you see this one, see, everything is completely like a desert, everywhere full fire. So no one wants to die. Why no one wants to die? Because as eternity, in the eternal life, we, in the spiritual life, we are eternal. So that means we know that there was not a time where we did not born. There is not a time where we won't exist, right? So as a soul, by eternally, we want to live. We have the eternal nature. We will live forever. So that is the quality. When we come to the material world, also we don't want to die because we had that quality, but we are looking that kind of eternity on a wrong platform of this material world. So because we want to do the sense gratification, for that we need to struggle to acquire wealth, everything, right? Relationships, everything we want to enjoy. So that's why we don't want to die. But the problem here is we are looking for the eternity on a wrong platform. Actually, we should look for that an absolute platform. So next thing is karma bandhana. Why do we take birth again and again? Because we had the desires. Since we have the desires based on the past impressions, so to fulfill the desires we work and we procure so many things. As a part of that, we get some results, and when we get the results and we do some bad things or good things means we'll get the good credits. Bad things means basically whether good or bad, we have to take the result back. So the reactions needs to be fructified. To get the reactions needs to be fructified, we need to take the birth again and again. So life of a conditional soul is made up of reactions to past karma. So we know that okay, if there are some we have come across so in the entire life we might have come across so many situations where we hurt somebody or somebody hurt us, right? So if something is happening to us means it could be that we are the only responsible person. You may at that particular situation we might think that whatever I did is correct, the other person's wrong, but that's not the correct. So whatever it happens at that moment, if it is hurting us, it is just because of us. It is coming back to us. We don't know how it happened in the past. It coming as a reaction to us. So we should think that conditional soul is made up of reactions of past karma. So but Krishna Bhagavad Gita says that but we are free to react the way we want to those reactions, and by that change the future reaction. So it is, since we have the free will, we know whether we want to act, we want to react or respond, right? So we can if you're knowledgeable, so you can understand the situation, we can act based on that. So do you want to react, or we want to respond based on that? So whatever the action that we take, so if we take bad action, so we have to take the reaction. So it depends, for it will come back to us in future actually. Okay. And the laws of karma are very intricate, as we know that it's very complex. Laws of karma, we cannot predict how it came, how why it has happened, because of when it happened, why it is happening to us. We cannot exactly go back and trace back why it happened, right? So there are three kinds of karma: vikarma, karma, and akarma. Vikarma, that means these people, their actions are completely whimsical, not directed by scriptures. So they don't think about any rules and regulations. They don't refer to the scriptures. They don't follow any authority. So basically, whatever that comes to their mind, their motive is sense gratification. So they do this one. They fall into the category of akarma. So these kind of people go into the hellish planets. And next thing is karma. So these people, they perform the actions based on the Vedic scriptures. Whatever they do, they will be in line with the scriptures, either following the demigods or approaching somebody to know whether which is good or bad, or doing some worships, demigods, anything. So they follow based on certain scriptures. So that means they're try to satisfy their senses by following some scripture, by following the scriptural regulations actually. And next is akarma. So this is actions without reactions, whether we do good or bad. If you do good, good reaction. Bad means bad reaction. So akarma is nothing but, so without neutral to these reactions basically. That means by executing the prescribed duties mentioned in the Vedic literature. That means basically karma yoga. That means whatever we do, we are going to keep this Krishna as the center and giving the results back to the Krishna. So karma yoga means it's a beginning stage of the bhakti yoga. We know that, right? So that is a karma. So when you do this way, keeping Krishna as center, all the reactions will not come to us basically. So which is can be, once we do this process and we move on progress well, that will lead to the bhakti yoga. That's where we can do the complete devotion service depending on the Lord, keeping the Krishna as the center without expecting any results actually. So moving on to the next slide. Okay, Nishkama Karma Yoga. So this is a little bit elaboration of the Nishkama Karma Yoga. So executing the prescribed duties mentioned in the Vedic scriptures, and he realized that whoever performed this one, they realizes the authority of personality of Godhead as Vasudeva. That means they know that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and they perform the duties as per the Vedic scriptures. So at that particular stage, in that purified stage, the modes of nature, like namely goodness, passion, or ignorance, they cannot act. So he is able to work on the basis of Nishkama Karma Yoga. So, so the essence is, so any activity that we perform, so it should be God-centered. So whether we work, whether we do activities at the home, at the office, or at the temple, any kind of activity that we perform, it should be God-centered actually. So next thing is, so who is the most unfortunate person? So Ishavasya principle says that man misses the whoever misses the spiritual opportunity offered by his human form of life and falls down again into the evolutionary cycle of birth and death, he must be considered as a most unfortunate. Due to his defective senses, a foolish man cannot see what is happening. So they don't understand, they because their motive is completely sense gratification, since they don't have the knowledge. So completely they will be going through the life cycle of birth and death again and again. And who is the most fortunate person? So the intelligent man understand his fallen state. He knows that what is his insignificant position and knows his relationship with the Supreme Lord. Since he knows that why he came onto this material world, what is the purpose of his life, and what is his relationship with the Supreme Lord. And with that knowledge, we'll know that both good and bad work equally bind one to the material existence. That person knows that okay, what is even though whether he does good or bad, that equally binds him onto the material miseries. So they start rendering the devotional service to the Lord. So he is the most fortunate person or intelligent person as per the Isavasya principle actually. So so what mantra 2 says that simply recognize the God and sacrifice a portion of results to the God saves person from the greatest danger gliding down to lowest species or regions. So only thing is we need to recognize the God, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and then work in the God-centric way and offer the results to the Lord, not keeping everything to us, offer the results to the Lord. So that way we will be saved from the greatest danger of falling, gliding down to this lower hellish planets, so that we will get the human birth. So that we'll get the opportunity once again to do the services and become closer to the Lord actually. And defeating the materialism. So, as per the principle, it says that the tree lives for hundreds and thousands of years, but there is no point in living a long time like trees, or breathing like billows, or begetting children like a hogs and dogs, or eating like a camels. So, what it says is a humble God-centric life is more valuable than a colossal hoax of a life dedicated to godless altruism or socialism. So God-centered life is very important. So before the California same incident, I was watching one of the video which we got from our friends. There was one program happened just 48 hours before. Somebody says that it's a godless society, and they made fun of God. So sometimes gods take it as a challenge. So we don't know. Maybe there may be so many good people will be there, bad people will be there, but it's a collective karma. So we should not, that says that we should not challenge God sometimes. So what if you're not following the instructions of the God, means we are challenging the God, right? So he has taken the challenge. That's what happened. So we should always be humble and understand our insignificant position and go accordingly. So it's very important. That's why law of karma is very interesting. Sorry. Devotion service. So perfection of Nishkama Karma Yoga can bring one to the platform of liberation. So when we start performing Nishkama Karma Yoga, it brings to the platform of liberation, but it's just a starting, but there's a long way to go. We can perform the devotional service, do the Bhakti Yoga, and get the love for the God and do the services. And so the way to return for good is to add the bhakti. This means love of God and personal relationship with God in all the things. So when we do anything, any services, we should do the services in the relationship with the God, in relationship with the spiritual master. So that way, when you do that in relationship, so then we can progress more in the path of bhakti. So that way we can get the taste of love towards the Lord, and we can feel that. And next thing is ego cannot be fully purified without bhakti. No ego means position of a servant of Krishna. We should always feel that we are the servant of Krishna, and that way, with that mode, we need to do the services. This is the perfect stage of Isavasya. Isavasya principle advises to exert our energy in the spirit of Isavasya, which means God centric. So everything, whatever we do, it should be centered around God. So God-centric life. So as I mentioned, so we should keep God as the center, whether it related to friends, or it related to relationships, or it related to work, or it's related to wealth, the family, or if you want to leisure, anything. If you connect to God, that's where Isavasya principle says that we are not attaching to the results, and it will be neutral, and that helps in the progress of bhakti. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
I'll go next, bro.
Yeah, just a second. I mean, the whole idea of this presentations is how the presentation went. Everyone should, give their review and, help improve or, give feedback, good and bad, both. Right? It's not just whether you understood the concept. That is also part of it. I would like, everybody to give your review. This is the final presentation, final or but one so we have done in the past. So go ahead. Feel free to give your comments.
Prabhu did a good job of outlining all the concepts, and he also went into the details of all the types of karma and with a good visual of how karma could come back and result back into you based on the actions you perform. That was very easy for anybody to understand, whether even if you look for the first time, you will still be able to understand. So that's a good presentation, Prabhu.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Likewise, Prabhu, I think Prabhu did a great job. Especially, I like the way he described karma, vikarma, and akarma. It was so clear that even a 5-year-old child can understand. So that clarity of that thought and explanation was very well there, because this is something which confuses a lot of people. What is karma, vikarma, and akarma? So people who are not who has not read the Gita, has not read lectures, know only of two kind of karma. But Prabhu, I think we can take Prabhu's slide and explain, use that for other presentations where we are actually talking to younger public, so that they can understand it very well.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
So you can also give anything improvements. It's not just what because that is also important as
Yeah.
this is the place where you want to also improve yourself or help others to improve.
One feedback I had was after slide 10 or 12, I think, the content became repetitive.
Okay.
Because Prabhu has already emphasized all the points up to, I think, this God-centered point.
Okay.
But then it became a little repetitive. So maybe
Okay.
that can be avoided. That could be a feedback.
Sure, yeah.
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Prabhuji, then all the rest of Prabhupada. Yeah.
Good to see you,
So,
Mataji.
what, Prabhuji?
Good to
Good
see
to
you.
see you.
Happy to see you Mataji, after a long
Nice
time.
to see you after a long time, Prabhu. I don't feel it a long time at all. I always think of all of you. So
Krishna.
I feel like I'm all with you only, actually. So yeah.
Very good.
I'm sorry, Prabhu. I joined little late. I should have started the invocation first, but I messed up, like joining a little bit late. But yeah, still. Yeah, Prabhuji's presentation was really good. You covered all the points. And even if a person in a non-Krishna conscious person, like in the preaching, you are doing it in a preaching point of view, but anyone can easily understand, as Anandram Prabhu said, even a 5-year-old kid can easily understand your slides. But everything was good. Like the way you explained everything was very nice, very, very well done. But I felt that it was too long. Maybe could have kept it little short. Yeah, that's the only thing.
Sure, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare
Definitely.
Krishna. Yeah.
Thank you.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Yeah, all
Krishna.
devotees have given feedback. I don't have anything new to say. I love the content. I'm a visual person, so anything visual only registers for me. So for people like me, this is a great content. Um, very good. One thing I felt is like not your problem, but because there's so much content to cover and you just have 10 minutes, so you have to rush fast, I felt. That's the only thing I felt
Hmm.
in terms of the pacing of the presentation.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
If you're gone like invocation, then 1 and then 2, right? That
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. We'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Overall, I mean, you understand well.
Yes.
what you're covering. So I would say, in the beginning when you start, Isha Vaishya principle you're talking, you can
Yes.
divide, the Sanskrit word because people don't know what that is. Isha
Okay.
is, the God, the Supreme Lord. Vaishya
Okay.
means to control. So everything is under control of Lord.
Okay.
So this whole principle is acknowledging the idea that everything is under control of God.
Yeah.
Because everything is under control of God, be conscious of God throughout your life, in everything you do. Because whatever you are using, whatever you're relating with,
Mm.
everything is belonging to God. So you basically be conscious of that. So that is God-centered life.
Yes.
Then, if you are not God-centered, what would be the reaction? That is, then you talk about the karma, vikarma. So if you speak like that, then there is a logical flow that people can connect, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes what is happening is when you bring up a slide, the, always the slide should flow in a way, concept that you talked right now is logically leading to the next one. We present a slide in a way, as a fresh point, people may not connect. Hey, why are you saying this? Right? So I know some of that is covered, but some of that is
Got it.
right. So sometimes,
Connectivity.
yeah, connectivity is important when you are. It should be like a logical flow when you are
Yeah.
and building on top of what you did, right? So
Mm.
thereby, if you do like that, naturally you will avoid repetition because you know what is covered and it's going in a
Right.
logical flow.
Mm.
There won't be repetitions. Yeah. Thank
Sure.
you.
Sure. Thank you. Harish.
Harish.
Okay, so Prabhu, mine is
We'll
text.
cover invocation now,
Okay, that's okay.
logically going. Yeah.
Should I start, Prabhu?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I think I need some Zoom settings. It's asking Prabhu. 1 second. Maybe Prabhu wants to start. I think it's asking for some settings for sharing.
Okay. I mean, we can help you
Maybe.
because it's all, our own devotees. Or
Okay.
you can send us email or WhatsApp and then I can present if you want.
Okay, Prabhu. Or I can switch the laptop because I think this is asking. I didn't know that this is asking. It's a new laptop, so I think it's asking for all the settings.
Okay.
I can switch the laptop. I can get back, Prabhu. Give me 5 minutes. So maybe Shyamukund Prabhu can
Then
start.
we'll start. Yeah. Shyamakant Prabhu.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Oh, actually, 1 second. Anandaram Prabhu is in the middle. Huh? Third verse.
Okay.
I am fourth verse, Prabhu.
Oh, Prabhu, I'm also doing fourth.
We assigned fourth to Shyamakant Prabhu. So, did you not see the page here?
Which book, by the way? Maybe.
Oh, by the way, are you talking about Ishopanishad or?
Ishopanishad. No. I'm talking about Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yours is pending. NY4. Yeah. Okay, then we'll not cover you right now.
Okay, sure.
Mine is Ishopanishad 1, mantra 1.
Okay. Okay.
Shyamakant Prabhu is doing
You
what?
can go ahead, actually.
I'm doing four. If you want to do one, then do it, Mataji. Then I'll do four.
First, go ahead now. You can go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Today I'm going to present Ishopanishad, the mantra 1, and I've taken, all glories to Radhesham Prabhu. I've referred his classes um, and I've also taken the liberty to take some presentation. The nice visuals that he has, so it's already there, so I did reinvent that. The mantra 1 of Isha Upanishad is Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagat Yam Jagat Tena Tyaktena Bunjita Ma Grida Akashya Sviddanam. The translation is everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota. One should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. So here the key takeaways, if you just read the verse, and even Radhesham Prabhu says there are two key takeaways. There are many, but these are the things that we should never miss. Is the two words Isha Vasyam and Tena Tyaktena Bunjita. Isha Vasyam means it is controlled. My mom is calling. Isha Vasyam is the universe is controlled by the Lord. That's the first thing. And Tena Tyaktena Bunjita means no one should accept only the quota that is assigned for them. So these are the two takeaways that we should not miss from mantra 1. And then we'll see in detail how this happens. So basically, before this, as this is mantra 1, the previous verse is the invocation one, which Sakit Priya will discuss in detail. But the connection between invocation and mantra 1 is that where they say Krishna is complete, Purnam, and then naturally he is also the proprietor. Also also the conditioned souls are also complete in a way. But in this verse, like mantra 1, they will explain about how Krishna is complete and how we can, relate to the completeness of Krishna, and how is Krishna the proprietor, and what is our relationship, or how can we, align with him. Those details are explained in this verse. So basically, it is introduced as he is the Purnam there in the invocation part, and here they will explain more in detail of his proprietorship and our relationship, which means the conditioned soul's relationship with the Lord. That's what is the connection. And then Prabhupada's purport goes in this flow, actually, all the details that is mentioned. These are the 4 subcategories kind of thing we can think of to understand this verse better. So how Prabhupada starts is he first establishes the Veda's authority. And then he talks about how Lord is the proprietor of everything. And then he talks about quota, and then what are the different types of quota, so that we understand the practical details of it. When we say different kinds of quota, it talks about nature, diet, and multiple things, examples are given. So this is the four main topics that Prabhupada mentions in his purport, which we will see. Veda's authority. Prabhupada starts with Krishna is called, Krishna is the proprietor, it says, and because, okay, maybe I should come back. Veda is actually spoken by the Lord the very first time, and so it is very transcendental and it is infallible. And from Krishna, it came in disciplic succession through our spiritual masters. Now, we are all listening to it. So because it came from the Lord himself, who's infallible and who's transcendental, Veda is also has those qualities. And as we all know, Veda was spoken by Lord to Brahma, and then it came in disciplic succession into Brahma's sons and so on. And Veda is not, there is a very key word that Prabhupada writes is, Veda is spoken by Apaurisheya. Apaurisheya means it's not delivered by mundane person. It is delivered by the Lord himself. So it is, that means that whatever Lord gives, he's with full intelligence and all the opulences, that it's not a mundane scripture or text that like any mundane person can write. And then here, further in detail, Prabhupada talks about what is a mundane, because he introduced that word not delivered by a mundane person. He talks about who is mundane. And in that, these four defects, which we all know, which is very important, and at least I have to remind myself, is like, we always have the tendency to commit mistakes, and conditioned souls are subject to illusion, and there is a propensity to cheat, and the senses are imperfect. So these are the four defects that a mundane person has, which also means that Krishna doesn't have any of this. He's not at all, not at all, impacted by all these defects. This is what predominantly Prabhupada mentions to establish the authorities of Veda. Then we go to the second category that Prabhupada talks about. He also introduces about how Lord is the proprietor of everything. Here, he says Lord is Purnam and not subject to the modes of material nature, like how we are subject to the modes of material nature, but Lord is not subjected to that. And all living entities, whether it is animate or inanimate, like trees or us, or all any insect, animals, stuff like that, are all controlled by the Lord. And Isha Upanishad, it comes from part of Yajurveda, and seems like Yajurveda's main information or content talks about the proprietorship of all in the universe. I don't know the details about it, but that's what is mentioned in it, that Yajurveda covers that part of the knowledge. And Lord's proprietorship is explained in Bhagavad Gita also, verse 7.4 and 7.5, where his para and apara Shakti, Prakriti is discussed. Para is, the elements of nature, earth, water, and all that, which is in the inferior or the material energy, also belongs to the Lord, and he owns it, or he controls it. And also the second level of the higher energy or his superior energy is para prakriti, which is the living being, and all us, is also part of the Lord, and he is the proprietor of that. So both para and apara, both prakriti, belong to the Lord, and he is the proprietor and he is the controller. So that's what is mentioned. And except for the Lord, no one is a proprietor of anything. The example that Prabhupada gives is, somebody, a gardener puts the, what do you call that, seed, and he puts water and all that, but the flower comes and fruit comes and stuff like that. But he can never claim that he is the one who has, what do you say, invented the flower, or he's the one who created the flower or fruits. It is the Lord who has done it, and he is the only proprietor. The gardener is just a caretaker who does, sowing and watering and all that, and then God's energy comes out. So that's one example that is given to establish that Lord is the proprietor and we are just the caretaker. And then the next flow goes into the quota that everybody has. Here they are talking about two things. The quota talks about, like, for example, whatever is assigned to you, like if we are in the human form, there are certain things that are assigned to us, what we can eat, what we can do, and stuff like that. So those things only we should be doing. So, and we should only accept that, and we should not go in search of the items that are not kept separately, which is not assigned to us. For example, he gives, like, cow actually gives milk, but cow never takes its own milk, but it just eats grass and straw. And similarly, that is the arrangement that Lord has made for the cow. Similarly, for human, he has given fruits and vegetables to eat, so we are supposed to eat that and do our duties like that. And we should always be satisfied with our allocation. Whatever is given to us, we should be happy with us. Again, similar example to that gardener what I gave here, it's given, like, there is, when we build a house, there is brick where there are different elements like earth, metal, everything is used. But we can, though we build a house and all that, we falsely claim that we are the owner of the house, but we can never claim that I made the wood or iron, stuff like that. We are just a caretaker. We are just bringing all those elements together to build something, or for some purpose. So we should not claim our proprietorship, and we should always remember that Lord is the proprietor, and this quota is given to me in this life or in this body for me to perform my services. So that memory should always be there with us. So humans should realize the importance of human life that we are given, and utilize it for it. We all know what we should be doing as a human. That detail will come again in the next slide, as in what are we expected to do. So till now we have seen the Vedas authority that Lord that Prabhupada has established, and then Prabhupada talks about Lord is the proprietor of everything, and then he talks about the quota, and then the next part. Okay, the quota. Yeah, here maybe I can talk about a little more. Quota may there are two things. For example, sanctioned food. Like when we say food wise, we are supposed to eat food, vegetarian food, and things like that. But vegetarian alone is a sanctioned food, but that is not a sanctified food. So Prabhupada will talk about, we should be eating sanctified food, not just the sanctioned food. So sanctioned food alone is not enough for us to progress in our life in the human body. So these are the examples of quota, like in terms of property, in terms of wealth, work, and all that stuff. What is it that we should do, and what is it that we should not take care of? For example, a spouse married as per religious principles and not maintaining any illicit relationship. Means what is your quota? Your quota is to have a marriage and be in the grahastha ashram and follow certain rules and not go out of that is out of your quota, stuff like that. So I'll not go in detail, but these are some of the examples that are given as quota by His Grace Radhesham Prabhu. And then the type of quota is like, as I said, some animals, I mean, some people claim that, I'm a vegetarian, and that itself gives a pride to some people. Though they are following the right thing, but that is not the best thing. So even he says, like, monkeys are also vegetarian. That doesn't make them any superior. So being vegetarian alone is not enough. Instead, we should be offering everything to the Lord and then having prasadam. So that is better, is what is explained. And one thing is, animals never transgress their law of nature. For example, tigers don't eat rice and birds don't drink milk. They are very clear with what they have to do, even though they don't have knowledge. So even if they transgress the nature's law, they don't incur sin, it seems. But we are given a human body, which is a higher state. But if we break the law of nature, then we have to incur sin. That is what is mentioned. So we have to be very careful, especially because we have this body. And then higher, and so if you violate nature, that's what is mentioned here. So this is the fourth type of quota. So the solution, what is recommended is, humans should recognize, Supreme Personality of Godhead and become His devotee. Because especially in this human body, and we should always do devotional service and partake only remnants of the Lord. And when we talk about the remnants of the Lord, Prabhupada also gives reference of, Patram Pushpam Phalam in that verse, where Krishna readily says that he will accept all the vegetarian food that is offered with bhakti. So it's not enough if we just become vegetarian, but we should also become a devotee of the Lord. That's, I think I repeated it again here, I guess. And the another main thing is, the root of sin is deliberate disobedience to the laws of nature through disregarding the proprietorship of the Lord. And one who follows the rules and accepts Lord's position gets eligible to go back home to Godhead. So these are the things. To just summarize. Okay. This is a flow that is given, like, accepting. I will not go into detail. It's similar to what is mentioned, but it's just given in the flow chart. Here we talk about at a very high level that Krishna is the proprietor, because that's what is the verse talks about, like, he's the controller of everything. And talking about also living entities' role. And here we'll talk about, who says it, what is said, and all that. And living entities, if we are not a proprietor, can I claim it? And if I claim it, what happens? And all that details is given in the next details. Krishna's proprietorship is mentioned in Vedas. That's where Prabhupada talks about the authority of Veda to say, like, why we have to accept it, because it is coming from Vedas. And the Aparushaya that we discussed about, and the 4 defects that we talked about, and so on. And what it is said is Krishna is not controlled by the mode of material nature. Instead, he controls everything. And both the para and apara shakti of him is his, and we are, subordinates. And because Krishna has perfect intelligence and all that, and he has the opulence and so on, so that's why he is the proprietor. The first key takeaway, if you remember, the first key takeaway is that Krishna is the proprietor or the controller. That is explained in this flow. And the living entity's role, the second part where we talk about we have to take only our quota and not more. So the living entity's role is we are not the proprietor and we have to act on this role. So if we claim that if you go in this route, right, why can't I claim? It says like not created, that building material example that I gave. And then what if I claim? If I claim, then I will be liable to punishment by the law of material nature. So I cannot claim that, or I means any living entity cannot claim that we are the proprietor. And what is the acting on this role means is we have to understand our sambandha with it, not just simply vegetarianism, but we should know that he's a supreme lord and we are part and parcel of him and things like that. And we have to offer whatever we are eating or anything for that matter to the pleasure of the Lord. So that will become us eligible to go back to Godhead. That's what I like this word eligible to go back to Godhead means. Which means that we are on the right path to do it. That's what is mentioned in this particular verse. We'll quickly go to this key takeaway, the final things. Like one is Lord is the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. And second thing is one should accept only those things that are necessary for himself, which are set aside, and not wish for more. Hare Krishna. Sorry, I didn't prepare as much as I usually. I'll stop here.
Go ahead, anyone want to speak or give?
I'm glad Mataji didn't prepare. Otherwise, whole night will be. She would have got a good lecture for the whole night. Well, it's very nice lecture.
Maybe you should have crossed more minutes. You would have prepared, right, Daivaradika?
Yeah. It was a good presentation. It was very nice. The quota, one slide that showed quota by each category. That was a very interesting way of showing that. Clearly shows that because if you generally talk about quota, you don't understand what does this quota mean. But by each category, it clearly talks about it. So that was very helpful to
All
understand.
glory to Radhesham Prabhu from this presentation.
Yeah, so it's all realized knowledge. That's what they share. So it was very nice. Thank you, Mataji.
Things improve.
Very nice, Hare Krishna Mataji. Very nice, Mataji. The content is very good, actually. So the logical separation of each concepts you provided in each and every slide, it's a clear separation actually, and there is a connectivity also. It's very good. And I had one question. See, aporushas means not delivered by a mundane person, right? Definition, but it also means that all its absolute truths. The Vedas are aparushas, right? So that means aparushaya means it's also infallible. It's complete absolute truth. Prabhu, is that right, Prabhuji?
It is Aparusha means not of human origin. Exactly.
Not a pure legend, but it's a complete truth also, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Another meaning. Huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice, Mataji. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
I know there are a lot of things to improve, but
No.
Mataji is really ready for preaching. I mean, he's really very good. Actually, this whole flow was good. I mean, see, the whole thing is, if you have a very good source and you do a good job of presenting that well, it comes out outstanding. And this has done that. Yeah, definitely, because if you start with a good source and you understand and you present it, that's all we need to do as preachers. We just, understand where the good source is, digest it, and present in a way people can get it. If you, the way you present it with flow chart, it just sticks to the people. And, we don't need to do anything. We just need to present and explain it. Yeah, it's fantastically done. Anyone else want to add?
The last flowchart was very good, Daivaradhika. It was like it gave all the when you look at it itself, like it's very clear and very composed. It was very good. Overall, it was really good. You're ready to preach now.
No, no. I'm good at copy pasting.
Anandaram Prabhu is scared to talk, I think.
Yeah. Sorry, Prabhu, I cut you. Go ahead.
I'll pass, Prabhu.
He doesn't want to
Take
get in
my
trouble. Okay.
Sure.
Sujata Radhika, do you have any feedback?
Sujata Radhika.
He's hiding behind camera.
Wow.
Just like the
Wonderful.
Ethiopian.
I am like scared now. I was just thinking why mine comes last. I can't pay attention and I can't. I know I'm in trouble. So it was wonderful. Thank you all for your knowledge. Hope I can receive it someday. So I feel so bad. Oh my God, every presentation, okay.
Bar is so
I
high.
am comparing to myself, okay.
No, we all have
Anyway,
the
you'll all be sleepy by the time. So
No,
good
you'll wake
job,
us up.
Daiviradhika and Srinivas Prabhu, Sridhar Gopal Prabhu.
Okay, cool.
Okay, next.
Okay, I'll go next, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, shall I try sharing my screen and see how
Yeah,
it's
Go
working?
Prabhu. Sorry. Yeah.
I don't know.
Shyam Mukund Prabhu just want to finish. Nobody is letting him. So
Krishna is not letting him.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
exactly. While she's working on it, so Prabhu, this new slides Amitabh Prabhu has put together for
Mhm.
Bhagavad Gita,
Hmm.
based on the Madhusudan Prabhu's flow.
Okay,
Is very helpful. I love it. So
nice.
that's what I'm using it. In case anybody's teaching Bhagavad Gita, please take a look at that. It's very
Yeah,
good.
Can you share the link, Prabhu?
appreciate it.
tinyurl.com/Shastri studies.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Amatam Prabhu's, yeah.
So it was very good.
Like,
And go into Bhagavad Gita. He had for everything, but if you go into Bhagavad Gita, then what is that folder? Let me tell you what the folder is.
how many sessions per chapter, Prabhuji?
So Madhusudan Prabhu does it one session per chapter.
Mhm.
So I did the first chapter in one session,
Mm.
but the second chapter I don't think I can do it in one. So I just covered only about 20 verses or so today. I didn't want to rush, so I just did that. And probably another 2 sessions. After that, I have to see, is it one session per chapter or more? I have to see. Yeah, 24, is the folder.
Is it under Bhakti Shastri Bhagavad Gita?
Yes. Can I share my screen or Mataji is doing it? Or?
Oh,
So 2024 beats Bhagavad Gita, right?
Yeah, 2024 BG summary.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
Do that. Then there's the PPTs.
you're able to see, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. You have to install the fonts, but that'll be in the previous folder. But this is the folder where it has all the PPTs. So it's very good actually.
2024 BG summary has BG summary PDFs, that one, PPTs.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
That's written by Adi Purusha Prabhu, right? That's a folder called Adi Purusha Prabhu.
No,
That's the one, right?
it has one chapter.
No, rest all are 2022. The Adipurusha Prabhu folder is 2024. I
No, the
think that's
folder could be old.
It's only for one chapter or something. If you go into BG summary PPTs,
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
you see all the chapters.
okay.
BG
That's
summary, PDF, PD summary. Yeah, I see that. Yeah. Okay, let's get
Just
started.
make sure you have the fonts installed. He has the fonts also in the previous folder. I think it's in the root folder of study material. Somewhere he had. Where is it? Maybe
Hare
it's
Krishna.
inside Bhagavad Gita folder, I think. Yeah. Inside the Bhagavad Gita folder, there's a BG PPTs install fonts to view. That folder has all the fonts.
Yeah.
Oh, fonts.zip.
Yeah. So if you download and expand it, then you can install all those fonts. Then everything will be fine.
This is the way we to go. We have to speed up the, course instead
Yeah.
of doing like 5 years, 3 years.
Yes, bro.
We're doing a year.
Yeah.
But even though it is a presentation per week, or it maybe takes 2 weeks, in general, it will take a year just to cover those 18 chapters.
Yeah. So my idea was, Vedic school is going to end by end of April or May. So I want to finish as much as possible before that. So hopefully all the 18 chapters. I also told them that consider this as like an overview. You get the overview of whole Bhagavad Gita, and then if you want, we can go deeper into any of these topics. But I want to make sure everybody gets the overview, and
Yes.
then deeper. So
How many are there now?
now I get about 15 to 20 people come pro.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Now I became fan of Chaitanya Charan Prabhu's writing and presenting.
Oh,
I'm doing that every.
I see. Okay.
I'll share my video. It was really good. I mean, because of Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, I would say.
Oh, okay. Okay, Mataji, I think you can start.
Sure, Prabhuji. Are you able to see the screen, Prabhu?
Yes,
Yes.
Prabhu.
Okay. I'm sorry about the delay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarobhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. I also covered a little bit of the introduction, Prabhu, because the invocation was very small. So I thought, like, when we, in the preaching point of view, before starting, I thought the introduction will be good for new people. So in that aspect, I covered the introduction, which is given in the book. So we are seeing a brief introduction about the Isopanishad. And here, according to the Indian school of thoughts, we have two different divisions, that is divided into Astic and Nastic. The Astic is nothing but is a faith in people who have faith in Vedic scriptures, and Nastic is they do not have faith in the Vedic scriptures. The Astic school, it's divided into six school of philosophy, which is the Nyaya. The Nyaya is the Sankhya, Vaisheshika, Yoga, Mimimsha, and Nyaya, and Vedanta. So when Nyaya is propounded by the Gautama Rishi, and Vaisheshika is propounded by the Kannada, and Sankhya is by the Kapila Muni, which is given in the third canto of Bhagavatam, and Yoga by the Patanjali, compounded by the Patanjali Muni, and Mimimsha is divided into two. It's Purva Mimimsha and Uttara Mimimsha, and Purva is compounded by the Jaimini, and the Uttara is compounded by the Vyasa. So basically, the Uttara Mimimsha is nothing but the Vedanta, which gives the conclusion of all the Vedic scriptures. So basically, all this, and there is other school called the Nastic, which do not talk about the Vedic scriptures at all. They do not follow the Vedic scriptures. That is divided into three divisions. That is Buddhism, Jainism, and Charvakism. And we all know that Buddhism and Jainism, they don't follow any scriptures. And Charvakism is nothing but the materialism, which is the most profound thing that is found in the recent days. And about all this among all the six school of philosophies, The Ashtik school of thoughts derive their authority from the Vedas, but they are not considered Vedantic because they do not give the conclusion. So the Vedanta is the one that gives the conclusion, that is divided into two categories, that is Dvaita and Advaita. Advaita is nothing but the Shankaracharya school of philosophy, and they focus on non-dualism. That is, there is no duality between the soul and the Brahman. They think the both are the same. But in the Dvaita, they consider it as it is a Madhvacharya philosophy, and its idea is that there is a difference between soul and the Brahman. These both are the two divisions of the Vedanta. So reconciling these two Vedantas, this Advaita and Advaita, is given by the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is the Achintya Bheda Abheda, simultaneous, inconceivable oneness and difference. To bring up this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings, we just come up with all the 6 school of thoughts and all the divisions of the Indian school of thought. And the background to understand how the Achintya Bheda Abheda is the conclusion from the various systems of thoughts which has emerged in the Vedic context. This is the highest. Now we are focusing within the Vedanta. That is the next slide, that is Prasthana. This is called the Traya in the Vedanta. They talk about the Shruti, Smriti, and the Nyaya. The Shrutis consist of the Vedas, Samhitas, Aranyakas, and the Upanishads. The Ishopanishad comes under the Shruti. And the Smriti is the Puranas, Itihasas, Pancharatras. Bhagavad Gita comes under the Smriti, but Bhagavad Gita also comes under the Shrutis because it's directly comes from Krishna. So it comes under both Shruti and Smriti. And this is the most important thing, Bhagavad Gita. And Nyaya is the Vedanta Sutra, which is the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam is the expansion of the Vedanta Sutras. The Shruti refers to that is heard, that is we directly hear. The sound vibrations that is directly heard from the God, that is the Shruti. Smriti is also divine. It is the word that refers to that is remembered. That is heard and remembered is called the Smriti. After hearing that is remembered and recollected and explained is called Smriti. Shruti and Smriti together educate us. Basically, it's like Shruti and Smriti both are not contradictory, but they complement each other. The Smriti consists of the Puranas, Itihasas, and the Pancharatras. So the Puranas are nothing but the primary, there are 18 primary Puranas, and there are also the Upapuranas and the Sthala Puranas, along with that 18 primary Puranas. And in the Itihasas, they are nothing but the historical narration of one particular lineage. For example, the Mahabharata and Ramayana. Ramayana talks about Lord Rama's lineage, and Mahabharata talks about all the Pandavas and the Lord Krishna's role in the Mahabharata. And the third one is the Pancharatras. This is primarily focused on the deity worship. The Narada Pancharatra is the one that we talk about more in our Gaudiya Vaishnava. And all the Pancharatras are given in the Narada Pancharatra. So Nyaya is the Vedanta Sutra, which use Nyaya's logic. Nyaya logic is an independent school of thought. It was the method of logic to teach the essence of Vedanta. And next we talk more about this Nyaya. The Nyaya is nothing but the system of logic is very intricate. Srimad Bhagavatam is a community on the Vedanta Sutra because it's an expansion of the Vedanta Sutra. Srimad Bhagavatam is a Vaishnava book, Satvik Purana, and Transcendental and Amala Purana, which focuses on the Vishnu and ultimately on Krishna, which is the highest manifestation of the Vishnu. And according to Srila Prabhupada's books, he talks about the 4 major books that is required for our Bhakti Shastri. We already know about it. And it's the Ishopanishad, this comes under that 4 major books. And next, we talk about the sadhya and sadhana. In any Vedic literature that talks about a Vedic, the sadhya and the sadhana. Sadhya is nothing but the Krishna and sadhana is the bhakti. Sadhya is the goal. Krishna is the goal here. Bhagavad Gita, Veda, it talks about Vedesa Sarver Ahameya Vedyo, that sadhana is the topmost among the sadhana, is the topmost among the sadhana is the bhakti. That is the sadhana. The sadhya and sadhana are established through Bhagavad Gita and Isopanishad. Sadhya and sadhana explains through, are also detailed in detail explained through the nectar of devotion and nectar of instruction. The Isopanishad establishes sadhya and Bhagavad Gita establishes the sadhya's identity. Basically, Isopanishad doesn't talk about the person behind the scriptures, that is Krishna, and it indirectly talks about the personality. But Bhagavad Gita gives a complete understanding of who Krishna is, and the detail of the personality of Godhead. The Isopanishad explains absolute truth it's a person. But Bhagavad Gita explains that absolute truth is Krishna as identity. Sadhana is considered on the Isopanishad points towards the Bhakti, and Bhagavad Gita establishes Bhakti. And to know more about sadhana and sadhya, as we know, we have this NOD and NOI. And there is this overview of, now we'll see the overview of why do we need the scriptures. As we know, we have 4 defects. That is why we need the knowledge of the scriptures. And the second point is Vedas give the universal and the axiomatic wisdom. So Vedic knowledge is superior to Pratyaksha and Anumana knowledge. And Vedas, Krishna is the only way to know about trans-real. Krishna is the ultimate goal of the Vedas, history of Vedas and the Vedic essence. This is what is given in the introduction. And we'll go to what is the cheating propens the help of the Vedic scriptures to understand the Vedas completely.
Mataji, like it
Hare
is,
Krishna.
you can cover in
Yes,
15 minutes. How many slides you have? Looks like you have a 1 hour session.
Okay. Totally 15 slides only, Prabhu. I'll just giving a brief thing.
Okay,
So
yeah, go ahead.
you want to know the timing? Okay. Okay. So I'll just go a little fast, Prabhu. So
Sure.
the 4 defects are our senses are limited because we cannot perceive things clearly. And we tend to make mistakes. For example, when we count money, we just, even though we are counting it, sometimes there is a propensity that we make mistakes. And illusion. We don't realize it's something that happens subconsciously without realization. So the cheating propensity. Sometimes we have the predetermined thoughts that I have already made up my mind and don't like I don't want to confuse. I don't want the truth to interpret. You do not need evidence to show that
Breaking, right?
System.
It was lag before.
And
Lose her?
Lost her, I think.
Yeah. We already spent more than 15 minutes. Yeah, I think we can start next one. We'll come back to Mataji. Or maybe give like 1 minute and see.
And let us give a minute for her. Next is Sujata Radhika Prabhu.
Yeah, second, let me see.
Go in sequence. I think Anandaram Prabhu is then you, or I don't know.
sorry, Prabhuji, my internet got disconnected.
Yeah, we can see. You can switch off video to.
Yeah. Now we can see, Prabhu. Yeah.
Yes.
You can switch off your video.
Yeah, I think so. This. Okay, Prabhu. Yes. I think the internet is little feeble, so I had to switch to my mobile phone in India's that hotspot.
Sure, yeah.
Sure, Prabhu. And basically, Krishna is the ultimate goal of all the Vedas. That is the next point, and the history of Vedas and Vedic essence. So, in Vedic knowledge is divided into three categories. That is the Karma Kanda, the Jnana Kanda, and Bhakti. And Karma Kanda talks about the Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. And Jnana talks about the nature of philosophy. And Bhakti talks about the ultimate goal. The Srimad Bhagavatam is like that. And this is the introduction. So this all talks about why we need the scriptural knowledge. Or understanding daily needs. So now let's go to the
We lost her again.
Maybe if we shut down our video, will that help?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Sorry, like now are you able to hear, Prabhu?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it cutting or are able to hear?
It is good.
Now we can hear.
It is starting well,
Okay.
but at some point it gets stuck after 5 minutes like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Usually the internet is good. I have two or three things, but I'm trying to connect switch between the other things. It's good, Prabhu, now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Sure. Now we'll go to the invocation mantra. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete, and because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced on the complete whole is also complete in itself. Because he is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. This is the personality of Godhead. Now, whatever that comes is complete, perfect and complete. Anything that comes, the personality of Godhead, we compare to the infinite. So anything that comes from the infinite, whether it's odd numbers or even numbers, that is also infinite. So that whatever that emanates, so the material world that comes from the God, that is also infinite because it comes from the infinite. So even if that comes from the infinite, something that infinite minus infinite is also infinite. So that was the personality of Godhead, even though that material world emanates from him, so many things emanate, he is always perfect and complete. So whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. The material world is also complete. And even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. So the personality of Godhead remains the complete balance, even though so many things emanate. So there are many infinities, and the absolute truth remains complete. Here, Adaha refers to the personality of Godhead, and the 5 points majorly it's communicated is the supreme personality of Godhead is the complete truth. So the material world is also complete. The third one is the human form offers complete facility. And the next one Prabhupada talks about here is the sense gratification is the illusory completion. So the last one is the devotional service, which is the real completeness. So the sense gratification is not the real complete one. It's an illusory completeness. And the devotional service is the one that is the real one. So in the Isopanishad, which is the Shruti, the absolute truth is not referred directly by the personality of Godhead because the Upanishads are transitional bodies of the name. Srila Prabhupada always also follows this strategy in his purports also. So the Upanishads take people directly to the absolute truth and focus towards the absolute truth. And here the first one is the terminology of impersonalist, to take the impersonalist beyond the impersonalism. That's why this Upanishad is given. The impersonalists consider the absolute truth to be also impersonal. So let's see how Srila Prabhupada does this in the 3 levels. That is for the first point, like how the Supreme Personality of Godhead is complete and absolute truth. So there are 3 different levels of realization. That is Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So in the Brahman realization, we only see the Sat form of the Lord, and the Jnanis are the one who sees, are the seekers. And the Paramatma is, we see the Sat and Chit form, and the Yogis are the seekers. And the Bhagavan realization is the complete realization, which has a Sat, Chit, and Ananda form, and the Bhaktas are the seekers of that. For example, if you eat, there is a sweet, like, the gulab jamun sweet, and you only, like, when you're in a different room where the gulab jamun is being made, when you get the smell of that, that is the Brahman realization, that is the Sat. We only get the smell of it. But in the Paramatma realization, like, you get the smell and the shape or the texture, you can feel it. That is the Paramatma. And the Bhagavan is, you can get the taste, you can get the smell, you can feel it and also taste it. That is the Bhagavan realization. That's how the Bhagavan realization, this absolute truth, is the supreme. And the prasad also should have the nice fragrance that attracts, and the look to touch, and the taste that captivates. It's said that in one of the example that Radharani makes all this in a perfect way. The prasadam, like, we can also, it looks, it has nice fragrance. It has this touch, it has a good look and taste that captivates. That's how the prasadam made by Radharani is. And the absolute truth is perceived in these 3 aspects. And the next one is how the phenomenal world is also complete. The theists say that the material world is complete because it is created by the Lord. They connect everything with the Lord. But the atheists say so much is wrong, because even in this material world, not everything is perfect. Basically, the basic necessities, the animals get the whatever things naturally from the system, but the humans are denied with certain things, and they have to struggle a lot to get the things for themselves. So this design it has to connect to the supreme. Example, when we had something, for the material world has to be used in a proper way, which is for the human people, used for their reformation, not for the sense enjoyment. For example, we should not use a cell phone for typing a new book. We should use it only for the purpose of talking, or like the other simple things. So the material world is also simultaneously, you have to use it for the right purpose. And the designer has designed the jail for a particular purpose. For example, this material world can be considered as a jail and also as a hospital. For example, as a jail, it's you only get the punishment, but you can consider it as a hospital. There is also suffering in the hospital, but there is a treatment there. So this world is like a prison and a hospital. It is a prison for those who want to enjoy independent of Krishna. It is a hospital who want to rectify. So for us human beings, we have to rectify in this material world. So this is a perfect design and remarkable symbiotic thing. For example, the ecosystem, the one thing that is produced, the human body produces carbon dioxide, and that is used as raw material for the plants, and the plants gives the oxygen that is used by the human body. So it's perfectly orchestrated, and this is a majestic design. So the material world is complete in its fulfills the material desire. That is an illusion. At the same time, it is not complete for material enjoyment. It is meant for the reformation. And we have to be a part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and not be a part. Basically, the example is, we know about the example that hands, we cannot use the hands separately and the legs separately. It has to be combined with the whole body, and everything is used appropriately. So our completeness is dependent. Krishna is independent. Sense gratification keeps us incomplete, trying to vein in full the mind's foolish fantasies and demands. So when you want to enjoy the sense gratification, it gives only fantasies, and it gives the minds, it only satisfies the mind's foolish fantasies and demands. So the misleading life of sense enjoyment is illusion. So the devotional service makes us complete by connecting us perfectly with the complete whole. We cannot experience the completeness because we are tiny. No matter how many tiny things we acquire, it will not be complete. But when we connect with the infinite love and infinite happiness that comes through the connection will make us completely happy. So this material world is meant for material enjoyment or sense gratification. We have to reform ourselves so that we can achieve Krishna through the devotional service. And the sense gratification offers us false completeness, whereas the devotional service offers us actual completeness. That's the conclusion given in the invocation of this thing. And so thank you so much. Apologies for the inconveniences caused in between. Sorry, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Thank you for the presentation. It was good. You have good source, Chaitanya Prabhu. I have heard this
Yes,
many times. Everything I'm relating to what you were saying. Thank you.
Yeah, because I was running short of time, so I didn't get to listen to many, so I only listened to this.
That's fine. That's fine.
And
Perfect.
I thought I'll press it, but a lot of confusion, so sorry about it. Yeah.
No, it's good. Yeah, overall good. Thank you. So if you can limit to like 15-20 minutes, that's the only thing.
Okay,
Anytime
Prabhu. It
you're
went little
preparing for
longer.
a session, always see how you can plan it in a way that we fit to the time.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure, Prabhu. Yeah. Sure, Prabhu. Thank you.
So 9:20 now. 1 hour 20 minutes. So we have 3 more presenters, which is basically we are done with half. Should we continue next week?
No, Prabhu.
We can stay. I can stay probably. I have no problem. Otherwise, they have to again come.
Yeah, I have 2 more, so we can finish one and then we can maybe.
So
It's,
I think everybody gets only 10 minutes.
No, 15 minutes is fine. It's not like we are. Okay, we'll
yeah,
do one more and end for today. We'll continue.
Ah.
okay.
If you don't want to do now, you can do two next time.
Or one each. Now, Shyamukund Prabhu, Sujata Radhika, and Anandaram Prabhu, right? 3 of them.
I won't take 15 minutes, but probably maybe a little shorter. So maybe we can.
You can do it then or no.
Okay.
Others will continue next week.
No, sorry to interrupt, Prabhuji. Or shall we do one each? Like Shyamukund Prabhu, one Anandaram Prabhu, one Sujata Radhika, one, so that 3 presentation is done instead of Shyamukund Prabhu doing 2.
No, I'm doing only one.
What,
No,
One
no, what
we'll
Prabhu
do
is
one
saying that
presentation.
Shamukhan Prabhu will do today and others will end for today and remaining we'll do next week.
Yeah.
I thought Prabhu was doing.
Probably, or if it is anyway tomorrow weekend, right? I think if everyone is okay, you can complete.
I'm
Whether-
fine with it to
Yeah,
start.
I'm okay for tomorrow also, bro.
yeah. No, today itself, I mean to say tomorrow weekend anyway.
No, tomorrow I have to get up early. I have a session at 6 o'clock.
Oh, okay. So then let's wrap it up quickly, Prabhu.
We'll do this one and we'll continue.
Okay. So Jataradhika, you're okay, right?
No, I'm not okay.
You're not
She
okay.
can do it. She wants.
I'm sitting here from 8 o'clock. I just came running and sitting here from 8 o'clock. That's okay.
Well, I mean, this is not like okay. I have to just don't
Yeah.
speak like that. I'll be really upset if you're doing that. Let's
Prabhu,
see.
then we have to time it, Prabhu. Everybody is like almost 1.5 hours. It's like we did only 3, right? So we should time it and like cut it in 15
Fine, we are
minutes.
giving the feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, we are telling 15-20 minutes. So let's be mindful of that so that we are yeah, it's okay. Let's go on.
Okay. So that's an
I
area.
really apologize. Because
That's
of my thing, I think another 15
No,
minutes
it's
aggravated
not
the
good.
internet connections and all those things. I'm
Good.
really sorry.
Oh, no worries, Mataji. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's coming to India and doing everything, it's like not very easy. Being in US is very systematic, and here it's like everything is in a toss for me.
Okay. Okay, Mataji.
Right, bro.
Okay, so let's get started. So I'm going to do Ishopanishad Mantra 4. It's titled, Understanding the Transcendental Nature of the Supreme Lord. Obviously, already you all covered all possible things, so I'm just going to be repeating a lot of things, but we'll go from there. So the mantra is Annejat Ekam Manaso Jivayo Naina Deva Punavam Purvam Arshad Tat Davato Nayan Atyeti Tishatat Tasmin Apo Matarvisha Tahat Dadati. Although fixed in his abode, the personality of Godhead is swifter than the mind and can overcome all others running. The powerful demigods cannot approach him, although in one place he controls those who supply the air and rain. He surpasses all in excellence. So that's the translation. Now, the key teachings in this mantra is, the Supreme Lord, though fixed he is residing in his abode, he surpasses all in excellences, right? So he can reach any point of this in his entire creation. And it's also very hard to conceive him. He is inconceivable in nature and swifter than the mind. Good example is, I can quote a couple of examples. One was, when Gajendra was in trouble, the moment he thought about the Lord, immediately he was there. That too, I think the Garuda was not ready to move fast. So the Lord put him on his shoulder and he came. Right? So that's how fast the Lord moves. And also in the case of Draupadi, the moment, she gave up, next moment the Lord was there, supplying the sari so that the devotee is protected. Right? So the Lord is so fast, especially when it comes to protecting the devotees, he is faster than the mind. And obviously he is not even reachable by the demigods. They all go to Brahma and they all go and pray and then request the Lord to come and help them whenever they need help. He's not normally reachable to even by the demigods as well. And the Lord actually controls not even single blade of grass moves without the Lord's permission. And he controls the air, rain, everything through his potency. He just empowers the demigods so that they can, appear to be controlling, but it is actually controlled by the Supreme Lord himself. And so those are the key points in that verse. And then the Lord's potency, there are three types of potencies. Antaranga Shakti, which is the internal potency, which governs the entire spiritual world. And then the marginal potency, or the Tadaksha Shakti, is the living entities, which sort of, capable of being spiritual, or it can be also associated with material. It can also have a material association. So it's on the cat on the wall type of energy. And also the Bhagiranga Shakti is the external energy, which manifests the entire material universe. So these are three potencies of the Supreme Lord, which are again inconceivable in nature as well. And how do we know the Lord? Right? So, okay, now I understood the energy. I understood, he moves faster. He's inconceivable. But then, how do I understand the Supreme Lord? Obviously, it cannot be understood. He cannot be understood through mental speculation. That's where Mayavadis get it wrong, and all the Buddhists and others get it wrong, and Jnanis get it wrong, because they are all speculating about the Lord. Whereas Bhagavad Gita or Bhakti is a process where the Lord reveals himself, right? For only he reveals when one surrenders to the Lord and he becomes a bhakta, the Lord reveals himself in the heart of the devotee. And devotional service is the only way we can understand the Lord and the transcendental position of the Supreme Lord. And there is no other path. And Bhagavad Gita also reinforces the same over and over again. The Lord clearly says that because you are my friend, I'm actually sharing this information and you can understand. If you are not a devotee, you will never be able to understand me, right? So that's because you will be under illusion. You will be put under illusion. Therefore, you won't be able to understand me. And all the power, we have, everything is derived from him. And so therefore, we should align with his will, because we should not be proud that, oh, I'm this and that, or whatever, because everything comes from the Supreme Lord. So that we have to be grounded with that reality. And once we are grounded with that reality and align our will with him, or whatever free will he has given, then we will be able to understand the Supreme Lord more clearly. So just to summarize, these are the practical lessons. We should be avoiding Maya by acting in harmony with the Lord's will. We should align our will with the Lord rather than for our own satisfaction. If we are, using our will to satisfy our own senses, means we are aligning with Maya. Instead of doing that as a bhakta, one should align with the Lord's will. And we should also recognize that, the Supreme Lord is the source of all power and energy. Everything comes from him. Nothing comes by itself. And he's the cause of all causes. And we learn about Supreme Lord through, the scriptures, Vedas. That's the source which was spoken by the Supreme Lord himself. And he has given the information about him through the Vedas. So we can learn through those Vedas. And obviously hearing from the devotees, bona fide devotees, who have shared the realized knowledge about the Supreme Lord as well. And that is how we can learn about the Supreme Lord. And yeah, that's it.
Oh, this is the shortest. Yeah, very good. Thank you. The flow is good. Overall, it's good presentation. Only thing I would say, practical lessons, especially, like all these topics, we should relate to today's life. For example, Sridhar Gopal Prabhu talked about, fire thing. So things like that will make them connect better.
Yeah.
So what you did was you also put principles again in the principles are good. They appear a little over the head if they don't really try to relate to themselves.
Got it.
Relate to things of life, it becomes more easier.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Overall, I think
Thank
it's
you.
very good. So everyone did very well, by the way. Everyone did very well. Okay.
Thank you.
Prabhu, very good, Prabhu. Very beautiful, Prabhu. It's very clear, crystal clear. And the Garuda example was very beautiful. And one more thing is, when you're talking about the example, I got reminded of one more example where Krishna took Arjuna. I don't know whether it's before Mahabharata or after. He took to different universe for something else, right? Prabhuji?
Mahavishnu Loka.
Before the war.
Mahavishnu. He crossed through the universes, right, in his chariot. So fast. So that could be another example too, right? Yeah. Very beautiful. Thank you.
We are all part of the whole. It's so clear, you see.
Yeah.
Sakhi Priya Matas is in India. She's just speaking and we are hearing,
Yes.
how real, how connected we are, you can see. We are part of the whole, you can see how we are part and parcel of Lord because we are, so connected, just like nerves in the body, we are just various parts. That's it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because of
And
Srila
this
Prabhupada.
connectivity didn't exist in the past as well, right? Because when Sanjay was sitting in Dasnapur,
Yeah, even Doordarshan.
he was able to getting the live telecast, right? So this was arranged by Ved Vyas. So
I love that line where he mentioned Krishna is faster than the mind when it comes to save devotees. That's very nice.
Right.
thank you. Thank you.
Sujata Radhika Mataji won't speak until she is allowed to present.
Yes, Prabhu, he took my points also. What can I do? Now whatever example, I was just like, while he's talking, oh my God, he took both of my examples.
Mataji, that
What is
shows that
this?
Yeah, you both
that
think
shows
same.
that how you both are
He
aligned,
follows you.
how you both are in the same path, how well you are doing together devotion.
Oh my
Prabhu, I
God.
also get in trouble. Because the other day when I was in the temple with
Okay, Hare
Paripurna
Krishna.
Haridas
Good
Maharaj,
night,
I got in
everybody.
trouble. I got in trouble because I spoke her points. Now today also I
I
unknowingly I
was like,
spoke her
what is
points.
going on? Like, wherever you go, you speak for me only.
He is the mind reader.
Two body, one
I didn't
soul.
know
Huh?
she was going to
Prabhu's
talk about it.
indirectly saying that you both are same.
Yeah, that's a two
Prabhuji
body,
is
one soul.
indirectly saying that both are
Yeah.
one soul. Yeah.
I was so excited to
Duality. I
share
was telling.
that two examples, Gajendra and Draupadi. He did it. Now I don't know what to say. Again, I have to. I can't come up with more example. Krishna only have to enact something else.
Come up next week. We'll forget by now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prabhu, next week also same time, Prabhu, 8 o'clock.
You only are deciding everything. I'm only instrument.
What time do you thinking then? That's the time it will work for everyone. It's okay.
Yeah.
Whatever works for everyone. I'm fine 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock.
So
This
we
is
don't know what will
Let's do
come
8 to
in.
9, bro. Let's just do 8 to 9 because you have to wake up early. So let's just do 8 to 9.
yeah, 8 to 9, 9:30 is also fine. I'm
I
fine.
think only 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 left, right? Shamukund Prabhu has 1, Anantaram Prabhu has 2, and I have 1, right?
Yeah, so we'll be.
I have two. I have two.
Oh, Shaki Priya Mataji, you have 2?
One second. So who is
Yeah.
done today? Daviradka Mataji, Sridhar Gopal Prabhu, Sakhi Priya Mataji, Ishapnita invocation. Okay, done.
Ramukund Prabhu.
Sham Kund Prabhu did
Ishopanishad 4.
Upanishad 4. Done. Okay. And so what is left is
I
Sakhi
have 1.
NOI 1. No, you have NOI 1.
Yeah, I have NOI 1 and NOD 1, Prabhu, both.
NOD 1. Okay.
So I have NOD 5, bro.
NOD 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
So Anandram Prabhu has NOD 4. He is NOI 3. He is everywhere.
So, Prabhu,
Yeah,
you have
I just
ISO
did.
also?
Yeah, I just did one presentation, Prabhu.
Right. Yeah. Maybe one
I
day
have-
dedicated for you.
Yeah, sure, Prabhu.
So
I mean,
then
next week I can do 2 if that's possible.
Yeah, I think we can do.
ISO you did, Prabhu? Anandaram Prabhu, which one?
ISO 1 I did.
Today?
No, today I didn't do anything.
He didn't
Oh,
do
you
it.
have to do. You are saying you
Yeah,
have
I
to.
have to do. I have to
Yeah,
So
do.
how did
I
we
was
miss
planning to
him?
do
You
NOI
one?
4.
Okay.
Okay, I think we should give him chance next time for sure.
Prabhu, then Anandram Prabhu does one ISO 1. I do ISO 5, and then everybody can go.
Others who are done also should be there.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, definitely, Prabhu. Yes, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Most likely we'll wrap up everything by. So whoever is not done essays, try to complete. Siddhar Gopal Prabhu is done.
Oh, that is ISO and NOD also had to do, right? There are some essays, right? Bhagavad Gita I'm done.
28 or so, right? So 20 Bhagavad Gita and others.
Yeah, that remaining essays.
Eight, I thought total 20 only.
No, Mataji, I thought too, but when I looked into that paper, there is
28.
NOD, NOI, another 9 essays are there down.
Oh, Krishna. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wrap those up.
Prabhu, whatever I completed, can I share with you?
No, you can share everything together. No hurry. You have try to wrap up.
Sure. Okay. The essays and assignments.
Yeah. So assignments, how is it going?
I'm done. Now what talk about?
Exams, anybody remaining with anything?
Exam were done, I think.
Everyone is done, right?
Mine
Okay,
essays.
only slokas and presentation. Slokas, who is done? Test.
I'm done, bro.
But test
You all did, I guess.
Lucas is done.
Slokas, everyone is done, right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
everyone done.
I think some of our essays are also only pending in this and some presentation.
But I don't know, assignments, do we have to do? Assignments?
Okay.
Prabhu, this is new only. You're telling
It's
new
not
thing.
new. It is always there. I'm
He has been lenient, Sujata.
Assignments, what we go from Bhagavad Gita 1 all the way, do everything. When will we finish?
you will be doing. Rest of you will have.
This
Exactly.
Sujata Radhika is not happy with the topic.
Only for Sujata Radhika I'll keep the condition she has to do. Rest of
Oh, yo, Prabhu, why, Prabhu? Please show some mercy now. I thought today we are done. Okay, oh my God, I'm done. I was thinking. I didn't expect you to stop like this abruptly. Anyways, you good night, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thanks.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Jai.